Okay then, this is our Q&A. So thank you so much to everybody for all of your replies on Instagram and TikTok. We've had so many questions. Ray, the most common one by far is, how did we meet?
Judge.
So we did tell him and his mum that for a while.
Yeah.
So what happened was Ray approached me and then got down on one knee on the spot and said, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen before." No. Okay, do you want to tell the story?
No, you can start. She saw me from across the room and was like, "Oh, that's the man for me."
We both went to uni in Nottingham, and we met on a night out in Nottingham. And then somebody else asked about our first date as well. So our first date was a few days after that. We went bowling, didn't we?
Yep.
Did we get food as well? Or did we just go bowling?
No, I think we just went bowling, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, I beat you. I definitely beat you.
Yeah, we got food after, yeah.
We've also got a lot of questions about like navigating cultural differences in our relationship.
I think with the cultural aspect, we felt it a bit more when we went to Kenya.
Yeah.
Going straight to Meru.
Yeah.
And Meru was more of like everyone else around, and then how everyone would look at you or treat you in certain ways, and then it was like, just,
yeah,
extended family in though, like.
I agree. I think it's because we were like thrown into the deep end, I'd say. So it's not like we went on holiday. The first time I went to Kenya, I went for 3 months.
Yeah.
I went to we went to Meru, didn't we? We spent time in Nairobi.
Yeah.
But we spent a lot of time in Meru.
Yeah.
And I just really felt like it's difficult because obviously this is coming from a privileged perspective, and sometimes people treated me better because I was white, which is really uncomfortable, but I understand that is a very privileged thing. But the amount of people that would just stare at me everywhere I went. So I'm living in a place for a couple months, and to me it's just never feeling like I'm settling. Because people would always look at me, or every single day somebody would shout Mzungu at me, which means white person. And I was really making such an effort to integrate myself into the culture, but obviously physically I don't look like a Kenyan, and I did definitely stand out in Meru where there aren't many white people at all. So we did struggle with that. That's not the reason that we came back to the UK though. We always intended on coming back to the UK. But yeah, that is something that we struggled with. I think in terms of our normal relationship though, like culturally, we haven't come across anything that's made us clash, have we?
No.
There's been nothing where, I don't know if it's just because we're both quite like understanding people, and if you want to do something, then I'll do it. For example, with Amaya's name.
Yeah.
Like Amaya's middle name was given by Ray's mum because culturally that's how it works, and that's, you know, something that I embraced. But I guess in some relationships and marriages that would cause a problem, and they'd have to navigate that. And the same, like, even with not speaking Kimeru, actually that made it hard in Meru. That's actually another question that we've got. You know, a lot of people have asked, how do we both speak Swahili, or do I speak Swahili fluently? I don't speak fluently, but I can speak a lot of Swahili.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah, but not, I can't say fluently because there's still little things that I can't say.
But that's the thing, with Swahili anyway, even Kenyans, when they speak it, it's always mixed English and Kiswahili anyway. So you could, if you don't know a word, everyone just throws in an English word.
Yeah, that's definitely how I speak Swahili.
So technically you're speaking how the Kenyans do anyway.
Yeah. I learned Swahili, well, basically when we were in Kenya. So I spent like 10 months there in total, in broken up bits, between 2018 and 2019 with Ray. And just being there, and obviously I'm interested in languages. I can speak Spanish and French as well. Learned a little bit of Chinese at uni as well, didn't I? That's gone out the window though now, unfortunately.
I know, ni hao.
我很好，谢谢.
Okay.
Remember that? But yeah, so I really threw myself in with Swahili and tried to learn as much as possible. I was always asking Ray questions. I had my own like little notebook where I would write things down and practice.
Yeah, and compete with me on how much Kiswahili I forgot.
Oh yeah, we used to do that quiz up, didn't we?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. We used to play quiz up against each other in the Swahili language. I used to beat Ray loads.
Yeah, because take yourself, when you don't speak it to a lot of people here, it's a whole different story. Whereas Kimera would speak to my mom and all of them often.
Yeah.
Swahili is like, you have a few people you speak it to and you don't really go that deep into it, you know.
Yeah, if you were in Kenya, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when we were talking about things like Jibini, and I'm like I remember you asked me, oh, what's this in Kiswahili? I was like, to be honest, I cannot remember for the life of me. Yeah, you used to know a lot more. Then as time goes on and you rarely use it, it just goes out the window.
Yeah, that happens with any language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We were talking about Amaya's name before, but just going back to it. So the name Amaya, we came up with, well, we didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
We were looking at names. We saw Amaya and we decided that we liked it.
Yeah.
It means night rain in Arabic, maybe Japanese.
Spanish?
No, it is a Spanish name, yeah, but it has Arabic roots, but it also has Japanese roots as well.
It had different meanings in different ones,
it
but
means
they were
night
all
rain
correlated.
in one either Arabic or Japanese. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But we thought it was a really nice name.
Yeah, I think Japanese one is night rain.
Yeah, I think so.
So Kirote is her middle name, which is my mom's name.
Yeah, it's also your mom's name.
Yeah, so my mom was like, we went to my mom like, right, mom, yep, she's been born. Are you gonna give her a name? Mom was like, I'll think about it. And then how long did she even take?
I'm pretty sure she said there and then, let's call her.
Yeah. I think she pretended as if she was thinking about it. I'm really thinking about this name. Right, okay. Let's just call her Kirote. Yeah, I'm like, okay, mom. So you just named it after yourself. Yep, definitely.
But culturally, that's quite important.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are named after somebody, you are one another.
Yeah.
So Ray's mum and Amaya are like the same person.
Yeah.
Culturally, that's how it works, which is lovely. It's really nice, isn't it?
It is.
But yeah, and then our surname is Mwiti. A lot of people ask how you pronounce it. So,
Mwiti.
Yeah. That is our surname, and it means traveller or someone that loves to travel.
Yes.
On the topic of names, actually, and I guess it's another cultural thing. Well, it is another cultural thing. It ties in because Mwiti is actually Ray's middle name.
Yeah. But
in Meru culture, you give your middle name to your wife and children.
It makes sense because your great granddad the name will just pass from male to male as long as the males are there. But if you just have girls, your name just gets wiped away. Whereas with ours, it's a sense of the middle name I was given was important because it's what I then carry on and say, now this is my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. My father's stops and mine begins.
Yeah,
and
now this is the name for your family.
Exactly.
You just reminded me though, culturally, because I said that we didn't have any things that we disagreed on culturally, but for a long time I actually did not like the idea of having Ray's middle name because, here in the UK, middle names are not really that important. So I always thought that, like, would people know that that's even his middle name? Would people wonder why we've got a different name to Ray? Like, there's something nice about when you get married, traditionally in the UK, and you take your husband's surname. Not everybody does that anymore, but, if you want to do that, then you take your husband's surname and your children also have that name. You've all got the same last name. Whereas, that is different for us now, but I got over it, didn't I?
Yeah, a few people who've asked me, so Amber's name is Mweti, but then yours is Comet. So does that mean, Mweti is your name? Then I'm about to explain it, and now they're like, okay, that makes a lot more sense than how we do it. So
when you explain it to people, they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. I've got bad dermatitis on my hands. That's why I keep itching my hands. Sorry. We've got so many nice things in here as well. They're just like, not even a question, but I love you guys and thank you for that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's quite a few things about languages as well. I love that you all speak multiple languages. Did you grow up in a multilingual home? Well, you did. I didn't. I only spoke English, and I did bits of like Spanish and French in primary school. But it when I got to high school that I started learning Spanish, and then I went on to learn French, and then I did a bit of Chinese when I was at uni, and then I learned Swahili in Kenya. I've done little bits of others here and there. Like I can speak a little bit of Kimeru. I can understand a little bit of Kimeru.
Habariku.
Ninjaga.
Ah, there we go.
But no, I didn't grow up in a multilingual home. I love languages. I've always loved learning languages. I am a language teacher, so the thing is though, we're still getting to grips, if we're being honest, with how we're teaching Amaya Kiswahili.
Yeah.
Aren't we? We've been a lot more intentional with it recently.
Yeah.
But I honestly know objectively that the best way would have always been for Ray to speak to Amaya in Swahili and me to speak to her in English. The boundaries have always been kind of crossed in our house though, because we do speak Swahili to each other sometimes as well. Yeah. And we spend a lot of time together. So what language do you then all speak in when you communicate? It would have got muddled. I do think it definitely works. It is proven to work.
Yeah.
But we just didn't manage to make it work for us for like the first year or whatever of Amaya's life. But thankfully she's very clever and it's not holding her back.
No. She
understands so much Kiswahili. She's even started to really speak some as well.
I know.
So yeah.
It's funny how now even she'll just use some Swahili and some English as well.
Yeah, she does.
So it's funny, or even if she just responds in English, or even if something is a bit broken, you know what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
So you'll just tell her, then she'll be like, okay, right, yeah, fine.
Yeah, like the other day when she said hapa ndovu instead of ndovu iko.
Yeah.
So she said here's ndovu, but she was trying to ask where's ndovu. She loves ndovu. I know you guys know she absolutely loves that thing. I put the Mauricio stuff on earlier, and someone were like, even ndovu even made it to Mauricio.
I know. Well,
he did. He's been around the world.
I know. Yeah. Elephant. Yeah, we've got in the background here.
Oh yeah, the
another ndovu. Backup ndovu.
It's got to be done.
I know.
Because imagine if she lost that thing.
I know.
Yeah, you grew up in a multilingual home, though, didn't you?
Yeah,
obviously
I did.
You grew up speaking English, Swahili, and Kimeru.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's good for the brain. Learn more languages.
I know. Then that's the thing. There are the things that you pick up. Kikuyu is close enough that even if I can't speak fluently, I can speak a few. I can hear more than I can speak. Yeah, I did a bit of Chinese. I'm still in the process of getting through to Spanish. I keep going
bits here and there, aren't you? I've taught you bits.
Yeah, you've taught me bits over time, but I feel like I need to be, I need to actually be more consistent with it. So I think it's something that I actually want to fully get into, just so that when Amaya's got Kiswahili down, Spanish can be the next thing. Yeah, I don't want to not understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Amaya's talking and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
This is actually what I was going to say before in terms of confusion. It doesn't matter to us at all that Amaya is combining languages right now, because that's a very Kenyan thing to do, like Ray said anyway.
Yeah.
And she will just learn who she can speak Swahili with and who she can't.
Yeah.
And she will learn. She already knows the difference, she can tell.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I started speaking more Swahili to her, she used to say, Daddy, as if to say, that's how Daddy speaks to me. So she already knows the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with a bit of Swahili. It's just, every Kenyan of her.
I know.
That girl absolutely loves Kenya, doesn't she?
No, she
And
does.
people have asked when are we coming back. Hopefully we're back again this year.
Yeah.
So that will be Amaya's third time. I think it'll be my 7th time? 8th time? I don't know. I lost count.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously for me, I spent quite a few periods of months there. Amaya's only had 4 weeks in Kenya. But it's really important to us that we make it back as often as possible.
Yeah.
Of course, to see all of our family that are in Kenya as well.
Mm-hmm.
A few people have asked, when are we going to have a second child? I feel like you must have missed that video where we put out about the miscarriage.
Yes.
So, yeah, we obviously do want another baby. And God willing, we'll have at least one more child. We always said we were going to have 4, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've started to talk about that a bit more since Amaya's been born. I thinking, like, can we give the life that we want to give to 4 children? Can you give them enough time and attention?
Yeah.
Can we take them all to Kenya every year?
I know, amongst everything else.
Yeah.
Birthdays, holidays and all.
Yeah. It's something that we're just going to have to think about.
Yeah.
The cost of living is getting ever more expensive.
And we need a bigger house for that.
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing. Lucy said, is there anything which you find really challenging in your relationship? I'm going to say the biggest thing for me is how we deal with things, how we deal with a problem when it arises. I like to talk about things, and I can't stand like things dragging on. I don't like holding grudges. I don't like being stubborn. I like to just squash things.
What do you mean?
But sometimes Ray likes to go away and breathe and deal with it, don't you? And I'm like, no, deal with it now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, to be honest, everyone's got their way of dealing with things. So trying to find a happy medium, and for us, that's been something where even after being together for this long, we're always still trying to work through it, talk more. Because I wasn't really the biggest talker. When I say this, I know from most of my friends who grew up in Kenya or in African households will say, talking about your feelings or talking about how you feel or your emotions, or it's not really something that's always very open. If you've got other siblings, at least you've got that buffer. But having that, going to your mom or going to your dad and saying, right, I've got this problem. The first thing you'll be told is just pray about it. Then it's like, right, okay, yes, I will pray about it, but also just help me about what I'm dealing with now. You either have to find your own ways of actually trying to deal with your emotions. So for me, it used to be, if I've got anything that's stressing me or worrying me, I'd just go for a run or just go for a walk. Then I'd either just cool down, think about how to deal with the issue, and then come back and actually deal with it. So it becomes a bit of a problem when I'm like, right, okay, I'm off, but it's now trying to make the other person understand that you're not leaving the relationship, or you're not leaving them. It's you doing what you need to do because that's what you've known for all your life before you met them. Like I'd say in the heat of the moment, like that might not be conveyed the best. So I think sometimes it's just good to have conversations about how you deal with emotions, how you work, and then from there, find your balance. Yeah, like establish how you both deal with things, and then try and find some kind of middle ground. Yeah, I agree. I just want to show that because this is a jammer top, but this is my top from a flower in, what year is it? Where is it? 2018. Does it say? No, I don't. I think it is 2018. I think it's 2018. Yeah. Has anyone been to a flower? There must be one person watching this who's been. The people from Meru, well, definitely. But they don't just do it in Meru, do they? Don't they do it across Kenya and other parts? I swear there were one in Nairobi. Yeah, I think so. But yeah. It's like all night praise and worship, literally all night long. Okay, a lot of people have asked about Amaya's speech and when she started talking and how she talks to us, she does, and things like that. So, I can't even remember how old she was when she said her first word, but she did say dada, and then she said, I remember her saying yogurt the month that she was turning 1, so she was like 11 and a bit months old. But there were quite a few words between dada and yogurt. Okay, maybe she said like 10 words before she was 1. I don't know. I know. And then it just came like that. I know. Just kept coming. But her understanding, actually, this is one thing to take note of if you are a mum, if you're a new mum or a new parent. They understand so much more than you think they do. They're just sponges. So talk to them as much as you can, and don't not talk to them because you don't think they understand, because even if they can't respond, their receptive language is much greater than the productive language, so they really can understand a lot of what you're saying, and it's just so good for them to hear you speaking as much as possible. Amaya, she's literally just turned 2,
she already is correctly using the past tense.
Yeah.
Her vocabulary is wild. The thing she comes out with, it's just how he's coming out of a just turned 2-year-old mouth. She can say words across 6 different languages, and that's another thing with the languages. She knows the difference, because if I say to her, can you count in Spanish, can you count in French,
yeah,
or like, how do you say thank you in German, or she knows the difference.
I know.
So yeah, talk to them as much as possible. Minimal screen time. Until Amaya were 1 year old, she had like maximum 2 hours a week screen time, like maximum. Then between 1 and 2, it slightly increased. She's never sat down and watched the full film though.
No.
She's just really not that bothered.
I wish she wanted to watch Disney with me.
I know, we do, don't we? We'd love to just have like Sunday afternoon watching Disney.
You're like, do you want to sit down and watch a film? Yeah. Literally, I don't even think 5 minutes of it will go by, right? Yeah, okay.
She wants to do something else.
Yeah.
But maybe if she gets older, she will want to have that time. But anyway, yeah, we're not complaining.
No.
Because, no, it's good. She watches TV now when I do her hair, and that is about it. We very, very rarely put the TV on.
Yeah.
And we've never been those people who just have a TV on in the background, so it's not like we sit down and watch TV together on a night sometimes, but we don't have the TV on all the time.
No.
And I do think that's helped, because it just means that she's listening to us speak, and there's a lot of focused, like, purposeful speech.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, even on a morning when we'll get up with her, either Amber or me, we'll come down, and because we've always read to her, she'll come down and say, shall we read?
Yeah, she does. Shall we read a book?
Yeah. So you're like, yep, let's read a book, darling.
Yeah, shall we? She loves saying that.
Yeah, shall we? Shall we read a book? Yeah, so...
Yeah, she loves reading.
Yeah, so she literally go and drag the books out.
Yeah.
It's nice when you see that they've got their interest, so you just continue pursuing it and pushing.
Yeah, and like you're not forcing them to read them.
I know. And that's the thing. Just make it interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all about the like silly voices and getting yourself fully immersed in the book.
Oh yeah. Fully get immersed. Yeah.
It's gotta be done. So just in terms of work and education, a few people have asked. Yes, so I am a language teacher. I did a psychology degree though. Well, I did psychology of international study. I did a year at uni in Australia, and then my other 3 years in Nottingham, which is obviously where we met. What about you? What did you study, sir?
I studied normal African person, law. So
could have been medicine following that, what you just said.
Yeah, it could have been business, it could have been accounts, yeah. But I studied law, so I did my undergrad in straight law, then did a master's in corporate law and insolvency, did my LPC, and now working as the head of legal operations and a construction company. So
we've been together since January 2017, and we got married in December 2020. We were supposed to get married in September 2020, but then COVID cancelled the original trip to Kenya.
Yeah.
So nearly 6.5 years now, boo.
No, it's not easy.
Go on.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it is.
But she's married for me, so it is.
Actually, somebody asked about what we like and less about each other. Wow, I love you. There's so many things I like about you. But I have never ever met somebody who's so thoughtful and kind and just willing to help in whatever way you can. Like, you do so much for me, and you're so understanding and so caring and so loving and so thoughtful. So that's not one thing, sorry, but I love you.
I love you too. Yeah, you're not too bad yourself,
Nice one.
Language.
I didn't say it. I just said.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you've been supportive through a lot of the challenges that we've gone through before, and it wouldn't have been easy going through that, because I know there's people who would break up over the simplest of things. So the fact that you managed to stick with me through a lot of difficult times, and yeah, a lot of that we'll talk about all that at a later time.
Yeah, true. Yeah. There's a lot to go through.
There's a lot to unpack, but yeah, she's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's one of the good ones. Yeah.